Barbara Kappel, ENF Group. Thank you, Chairman, Commissioner. On the 28th of January, you presented the corporate tax package on 3 pillars, essentially. Maintaining effective taxation in the EU, more tax transparency and fair competition, a level playing field. And that's been combined with an external strategy for effective taxation, in particular with regard to the tax treatment of multinationals, which is very important. The foundation of that package is the BEPS initiative of the OECD, which is to fight profit shifting and profit reduction. And you said that the EU wanted to be the driving force in implementing the BEPS. I'd like to recall the letter from the US Finance Minister of the 11th of February this year to Commission President Juncker, and a copy to you, Commissioner. The recrimination made in that letter was aimed at DG Competition, saying that their implementing measures were not consistent with or contradicted the BEPS initiative, which is the initiative that you see as a prime mover. And the OECD and G20 countries have committed to a coordinated implementation of BEPS. Meanwhile, the US Senate has been seized of this. There was a hearing in the Finance Committee, and the Finance Minister of the US is advising the Commission to rein in Commissioner Vestayer's investigations, and has raised that in connection with investment in the EU. So how do you justify this? How do you justify the discrepancy that the Americans perceive within the conduct of the Commission, when they say that Commission measures are not consistent with the BEPS, whilst you at the same time are saying that BEPS is the wellspring of the corporate tax package?
Si.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Si, Madame.
Thanks, Mrs. Kappel. Let me just remind you what the Chairman and myself said in response to a previous question. Obviously, the relationship with the US is hugely important in economic terms, in political terms, of course, but also in terms of tax cooperation. And I say again, if we hadn't had the US on board for the BEPS agreements, we wouldn't have any BEPS agreement. It's just the same thing with the automatic information exchange. Our cooperation with the US Treasury, and mine personally with Jack Liu, who I've known for a while, is very good indeed, and it's a very important issue for us. We've had contacts, of course, between the US Treasury and certain commissioners, and Mr. Juncker's been addressed, President Juncker's been addressed, and he's going to respond. Alain Lamassoure said that the systems aren't the same as far as jurisdiction goes. The way they work vis-à-vis companies isn't quite the same. There are also private jurisdictions. So parts of the US have been able to take steps which have affected certain European companies without doing it in a systematic way. But what we try to show is that there is no discrimination in favour of US companies, none at all, and that tax cooperation needs to be followed through just like economic cooperation. So we're going to carry on the discussions with the US authorities, and I can say that I personally will be in Shanghai, as I said, in a few days, the G20. I'll see Jack Liu, and we'll see how we can move forward as far as our cooperation is concerned. We both grasped here that I show solidarity with Marianne Vestager, my colleague, and just as she supports me in these tax issues. We're a kind of duo. I try to propose ideas and legislation. She applies it bravely. She's tough. She's brave. She's exceedingly objective. She's got a good political approach. And there's no discrimination in the way she does things. Thank you.